This video brought to you by our Patreons. Please consider supporting this channel and joining our Patreons at patreon.com/NovaWing24.
Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 7th of March 2021 and we're going to jump straight into it this week with the release of what is possibly one of the most iconic families of aircraft ever to grace the skies of our little blue orb of a planet. And of course, I am referring to the fresh release from Australian developer Flying Iron Simulations of their rendition of the Spitfire LF Mark 9C for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So the Spitfire is, as I said, is possibly the most iconic aircraft ever to grace the skies of this planet, and the particular Mark 9 would be one of the most prolifically produced variants of the Supermarine Spitfire throughout the Second World War and beyond. And so it would serve in many Commonwealth forces but during the war, and of course in many other nationalities, air forces post-war as well. Now, this particular rendition of the aircraft comes beautifully, exquisitely highly detailed, and the developer Flying Iron Simulations has quite the pedigree of delivering some incredibly highly detailed aircraft from the Second World War era, given that they've developed for X-Plane extensively in the past, including a P-47N Thunderbolt, a P-38L Lightning, and of course the Spitfire LF Mark 9 for X-Plane 11 as well. As well as that, the developer actually worked very closely with Heritage Flight Simulations in their project to be able to create a buildable home cockpit for a Spitfire Mark 9 that could be used with Flying Iron Sim's X-Plane 11 variant or with the DCS World variant as well. So this developer actually has a lot of pedigree, creating really incredibly high standards of work. And from what they've created here, from what it looks like, what they've created here for Microsoft Flight Simulator looks absolutely stunning. Like, it looks incredibly stunning. The Spitfire Mark 9C, as I said, it was one of the most prolific variants of the Spitfire produced during the Second World War. And this particular variant is the LF, or the low flying variant. So it was optimized for operations below 10,000 feet. There were a variety of variants, but three main domains are LF, F, and HF. So low flying, fighter, and high altitude variants as well. That was mostly both fighter and photo reconnaissance one as well. But as I said, this one focuses on the low flying variant. It includes, not only does it include the standard sort of C-type wing, it also includes a clipped wing variant as well, which has a higher roll rate, and a number of beautifully, exquisitely detailed liveries are included with this one as well. It also includes a extensively researched, highly detailed and realistic flight model, building on the experience that the developer has across 3 different simulation platforms, bringing it to life, bringing the Spitfire to life as well. So from that, I would suggest then that it sounds like this developer had a hand in the DCS World one as well. That would be my guess. I couldn't find any. I did some research. I couldn't find anything to confirm that. But if they're talking about 3 platforms, that's the only other one that I really know of that's got an LF Mark 9. So there you go. Anyway, so it's a combination. It is a flight model that flies by the numbers, but also is designed to be accessible as well. Includes a custom, realistic startup procedures, a variety of a custom failure system as well, and custom flight systems also included as well as I said, the 2 variants get included with this one, and a full custom sound set has been recorded and applied to this one as well, all done in the WWise sound system, and designed and implemented from recordings from a real Spitfire Mark 9 as well. So beautifully highly detailed, looking absolutely amazing, and you can pick this one up direct from Flying Iron Simulations for about $27 US or original equivalent, available now. Continuing on with aircraft releases for Microsoft Flight Simulator, Carenado have come out with their latest port over from their legacy catalog into the new sim, with bringing in the PA-28R Arrow 3 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm actually kind of interested for this one, actually, to be honest. So this is yeah, I'm not going to go too much in it because the list of information looks like a exact carbon copy of their old FSX one, except it now includes PBR textures. What I'm finding interesting though, two things. One, it's still using those terrible legacy FSX pilot models. Like, seriously, guys, get on the board here, get on the ball here, use the ones from Asobo. Like, seriously. Also, interestingly enough, this is going to be a very interesting time if you are a fan of the Piper Arrow, because, or sorry, the PA-28, because not only do we have Carenado coming out with their Arrow 3, we have JustFlight imminently releasing the first of their Arrow family, which is the PA-28 family from them, and they have quite a few highly detailed, highly accessible renditions of the PA-28 family in their stable that they are actively working on for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So it'll be interesting to see how this stands up. As I said, like, I personally have flown the JustFlight family ones for FSX and X-Plane, so FSX Prepared and the X-Plane variants, and find them to be amazing, incredibly detailed, and especially in terms of doing things like vapor locking and engine management, all absolutely flies by the numbers. Whereas the Carenado ones don't offer that. So that's why it's really interesting to come in. This one's coming in at $30 for the Carenado one. As I said, it's a straight port of their FSX one here with a slapped new coat of paint on it with PBR texturing. So buyer beware when you're picking yours up. Available direct from the Microsoft Store. Available now. Continuing on with releases for the Sim of the Hour, to developer Perfect Flight have come out with their latest Discovery Flight series, coming in with their release of their UK and Ireland Discovery Flight series. So, not as many this time, so we've got 5 bush trip style Discovery flights here. Each various lengths here, going from anywhere between 2 legs up to 9, and ranging in time anything from 38 minutes up to up to, I think, about 7 hours or so, depending on the aircraft that you choose. Comes with two liveries for default aircraft, including the Bonanza G36 and the Cub Crafters. I will warn them straight away that if that the Bonanza livery is going to be, that looks rather interesting. But anyway, other than that, yeah, look, as I said, this is, I must admit, again, Perfect Flight, I think they've kind of hit the mark with this one as well. They've got text-to-speech integrated, so they talk you through the points of interest that you fly through. They've got the bush trips actually have references and some information as well. So there's a lot going on here with this one that I think is actually, again, I've got to hand it to Perfect Flight. I feel like they're turning a corner. I did notice, however, the price has gone up. So it's now $15. So I feel that that's a bad move, but otherwise, the fact that they are still putting in what looks like a semi-decent amount of work into this one makes me a little bit more comfortable. Anyway, all right, so this one is available from Sim Market, coming in at $15 or original equivalent, available now. Continuing on with MSFS releases, moving into scenery releases for a bit now. Starting with developer South Oak Company with their rendition of a Kalupa in the island of Molokai in Hawaii. So this is a really interesting airport here. So this is on the far northern tip of Molokai, as part of it's in the middle of a national park, interestingly enough, and it has a lighthouse just off the end of one of the runways. Not much information about this one, from having the fact that I've actually been there IRL. It actually looks pretty close to what the real airport looks like. I think the only complaint I've got is the texture that they use for the concrete part of the apron. But they've done all the other details look as I remember it, so I'm going to have to hand it to them on that one. Price point, a little high for what it is, $12. But overall, looks pretty good. Primarily just there for, is primarily there for GA and a regional air taxi that keeps around the region and keeps you in touch with the rest of the island chain. So as I said, coming in for $12 or original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with airports releases from developer Vertical Sim, releasing their last, well, they've touted as their last Microsoft Flight Simulator release for a while, with the release of Peter O'Knight Airport on Davis Island in Tampa, Florida. So this is a small GA and GA airport servicing a very exclusive marina, sort of very rich community down there. Though it has an interesting history because it was a seaplane base for a period during the sort of 50s and 60s, and was also a fighter station during the Second World War, as well as actually being the Tampa area's main airport during 1930s into the mid 40s. So this airport provides a custom custom ortho imagery for the airport and surrounding areas, custom terrain mesh, including layout of the airport and layout of the runway elevation as it for 2020, custom vegetation, custom detailed models and clutter objects for the regional area, as a variety of custom terrain surrounding area modeling, including the yacht club in the regional area as well, and quite a few helipads ready for when helicopters come to the sim for real in the future. And this was coming in at a pretty good price point. This one coming in at $10 or original equivalent, available now from Vertical Sim. Continuing on with scenery releases from developer Tabaret with a release of Barra Airport. And now, I'll be honest, I actually thought this was a freeware airport, to be honest. But then I realized that the freeware one, or the donationware one, was released for Prepared. So, straight up, I'm going to call out Tabaret and say you are way off the mark on the pricing here. This is disgusting pricing here. This is for $15 for $14 US for this one. Now, admittedly, the airport is kind of cool. Barra Airport is one of the few commercial airports in the world where you actually land on a beach, like an actual sandy beach. So it's serviced by Twin Otters. We don't have one yet in the sim. Aerosoft is bringing one. I know, not out yet. So that'll be cool when that comes out. But for literally 3 buildings, and the tide being permanently out, you're charging $14 for that, and I'm not okay with that at all. Like, not at all, particularly not given the quality of the modeling here. Tabaret, you can do better, so do better. Either slash the price or do a far better job with what you've done with this one. Yep, that's it. It's there. I'll be honest, it's there for the novelty factor. Find a freeware one. That's my recommendation. Moving on. All right, okay, moving on to the next scenery release, this time from Gaia Simulations, and this one's kind of a bit interesting, actually. So this one here is a dual release from Gaia Simulations of Kristiansand Airport in Kjevik. I'm sure I butchered that pronunciation, in Norway. It's a dual release for both Microsoft Flight Simulator and for Prepared. Now, it previously had been announced for Prepared. It's now also been released for MSFS. Gives a highly detailed rendition of Kristiansand Airport as it appears at the end of 2020, including custom ground service equipment, custom animations, both airside and non-airside areas. Covers the airport terminals, both internals and externals of the main terminal building are covered as well. All major airport buildings covered. Custom ortho imagery for the airport, surrounding areas, and all of Kristiansand City as well as the approach over the fjord. I'm not even going to try and pronounce what that fjord is named. It also includes a custom winter variant of the airport, including the ground texturing and building roofs updated to show like snow accumulation, which is again kind of cool. Custom night lighting, variety of other cool things that you usually expect from Gaia Simulations. But what I found interesting was the price differential. So this one is really interesting. So in terms of pricing, we're talking $20 for the MSFS version, but we're talking $25-30 for the Prepared version. Now, currently it is on a 15% launch special, which has got about, at the time of recording, it's got about 18 hours left to run. So if you do want to pick it up for 15% off, grab it quick. But otherwise, yeah, it's honestly, I'm I feel for prepared users right now for this one because it's beautifully detailed, highly detailed, but I just think that that's a little ouch. Just not gonna lie, I think it's a little ouch. I think that the move that Orbix was making towards the new pricing, as again, I still think, I think that, 15, I think 15, $20 is a good sort of, price point for this, for either version. So it's just, yeah. Anyway, points aside, available now for both MSFS and for Prepared V 4.4 and above, available now from Orbix Direct. Continuing on with scenery releases, this time from developer Samscene 3D with their release of Macau for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So this is both their... So Samscene is primarily known for their cityscapes, and this is no exception. This gives the island of... the city of Macau, the island of Macau, with major landmarks and all the major buildings, major bridges, all done in custom night lighting, custom building, and with custom PBR materials as well, including full support for night effects for the casino, for all the casino resorts, and all of the major bridges as well. Also includes a detailed rendition of Macau International Airport with its terminal and all airport buildings laid out as appears in 2020. Overall, I think the airport looks really good. The city, I have mixed feelings about. Looking at some of the imageries from a distance, it looks great. Close up, not so much. But again, it's this fine line that we always talk about, that we walk with Microsoft Flight Simulator, is that it is a flight sim. It is not a drone sim. So in that regard, it'll be perfectly fine for you flying over it, even 1,000 feet. But if you're taking a drone camera to it, you're probably going to pick it apart. So yeah, I think it's overall looking pretty good. The only problem I have though is the bridges. They're floating. So in the publicity shots that they've released, the actual bridge supports are floating above the water. So that's a little awkward. Hope that gets fixed soon, because that can be seen from 1,000 feet. Anyway, if you want to pick this one up, picking this one up for $17 or original equivalent, available now from Samscene directly. Continuing on with scenery releases, and we've got quite a few South African releases to round out the MSFS releases this week. So the first one comes from developer Kalis Aerial with their release of Lanseira International Airport in South Africa. Now, I've got sweet FA information about this. Like the developer literally just said, it's the airport. Okay, cool. Cool story. Like you copy pasted from Wikipedia. Good for you. In terms of, but looking at the imagery, it looks like the airport is detailed. The airport layout as appears in mid to late 2020. The ground poly looks amazing. Textures, the modeling of the building looks really good. Looks accurate as well. Covers the both airside and landside buildings of the airport and the current airport layout. Doesn't look like it extends beyond that. It looks like it uses the default photoreal imagery from MSFS rather than relying on its own imagery. I like the person. It's going to sound a bit weird, but I like the fact that they plug themselves rather than with the billboards. Rather than trying to get themselves, run afoul of any kind of copyright or anything else, they just put their own company logos and stuff on the billboard advertising. I actually like that approach, actually, to be honest. I think that's kind of well done. So overall, ground poly looks good. Everything looks pretty neat. Lighting looks good. I'm pretty happy with this one. Looking pretty good. Except, maybe the price. So $17 or original equivalent, available now from SimMarket. Now, the other three airport releases for South Africa, I almost didn't cover, but I do want to highlight them. So all three of these next three releases come from developer NMG Simulations. So the first two are straight ports of legacy FSX prepared scenery, and that's the airports of Saldanha, Vredenburg, and of Virginia Airport, which services Durban. Both are small GA fields. I haven't got a lot of information about them, but looking at the imagery that the published imagery, you can tell it's a straight port from FSX. You really can. It's not using any custom photoreal, or if it is, it's pretty terrible. The buildings on the Virginia one don't look too bad. The ones in Saldanha look awful. So they've come out. I think that they're a little over. I think that all three of these releases from NMG, by the way, are overpriced. So Salladana Verenberg is coming in for $10, and Virginia's coming in for 12. I think both of those are overpriced by about 50%. The third release is kind of interesting and should have been released as freeware. So this is the Zebulba Golf Estate and Spa. So it's a private strip that actually services a. It's almost like the Americans' idea of like of an air park. So it's like a private strip that services private luxury accommodation and a golf resort and a spa. IRL, it has 3 rusted hangars, a bunch of helipads. Now, this apparently includes the buildings of the spa as well, but they don't showcase any of that in the publicity shots. I mean, the airport layout is right, but it sticks out like dog's balls from the photo reel, which is the default photo reel. It doesn't really match, like the airport runway taxiway layout matches what I see on the aerial imagery from Google Earth and Bing Earth and all the rest of it. But I just for $9, no, this should be freeware, like, or maybe $2. Like this, it's yeah. So anyway, so buyer beware, but it is kind of a unique, interesting part of the world, and they have made use of a few assets from MSFS. So yeah, if you're looking to explore regional rural South Africa, though, I just stick with probably what's there, to be honest. But anyway, so yeah, there you go. That wraps up the MSFS releases for the week. Moving into the world by sticking with sort of like that sort of family of Sims, moving back to the world of Prepared. So a couple of releases this week. The first one we saw from developer Airplane Heaven saw the release of their Sabre liner for Prepared V4.4 and above, including V5. So the Sabre liner was a North American Rockwell, one of their last sort of aircraft that they released, really, under that brand name, to be honest. It was actually released as a it was a really interesting. It's a product of the 1950s and 1960s, and it was a bizjet that it morphed into various different things throughout its career, and ended up including in military service, both as a VIP transport, as a navigation trainer, would serve in the civilian role as a executive sort of short haul premium sort of airline service. Would also be one of the earliest business jets as well. And yeah, it just has a really interesting, varied history as well. This particular rendition comes with 3 separate models, 3 complete models, complete with their own flight dynamics as well. Custom external and interior models as well. So the 3 versions that are included include the military T-39A, the stretched 60 series, and the 65, which is the executive business jet series as well. So each of these come with a variety of liveries, including fully highly accurate internal and external 3D models, full support for PPR texturing throughout, including a variety of custom animations, including the accurately modeled supercritical wing on the 65 series with correct flap actions and wing mounted speed brakes. So, which is a very interesting design feature of that particular series as well. Includes custom 3D gauges internally, including accurate and fully detailed, fully functional cockpits with realistic engine startups, performances, and a professionally mastered stereo sound pack also included as well. And you can pick this pack up for $37 US, or original equivalent, available now from Airplane Heaven. Sticking with aircraft, but this time for a texture release pack from developer Paint Sim. So a Ultra HD texture pack for the Fly Simware Falcon 50 released this week, with 4 aircraft getting their Ultra HD 4K texture. I don't know, can we call 4K Ultra HD these days? What does that make 8K? Anyway, yeah, so this includes 4 particular aircraft, 3 US registrations, and a Reuben is Dassault Falcon 50. So very interesting sort of setup there. All liveries created with the current paint kit. Yeah, I've got much more to say about that. $15 or original equivalent available now from Sim Market. In the other prepared V4 and V5 release this week, so there's this week the release from developer WingSim of their rendition of Alfredo Vasquez Cobo International Airport in Colombia. Again, the developer's given sweet FA in terms of what the airport release actually includes. From what I can tell, looking at the textures, airport layout probably is 2020. Includes both the military and civilian side of the airport. Night lighting looks pretty good for at least for the civilian side. Terminal buildings external only, which is fine. Variety of custom ground clutter, custom static aircraft also included as well. Coming in for $18 or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Moving out of the SP Sims and moving into the world of X-Plane, saw developer Ini Simulations release their long-teased variation of the A300 with their release of the A300 Beluga ST in their On the Line series of aircraft releases. Includes a highly detailed rendition of the A300, the Beluga ST, which is of course the very unique super guppy sort of transporter that Airbus used to transport various parts all around the world. Includes custom FMS designed to replicate the actual on-the-line information for Beluga operations. Includes a custom tuned flight model to be able to model it as the aircraft as close as they can to of the real aircraft as well. Includes visuals in 4K PBR texturing throughout, with a highly detailed rendition of the GE engine, both in terms of visually and in terms of performance as well. Includes a complete set of real and fictional liveries, as well as 6 handcrafted cargo options with custom loader as well. Includes an authentic sound set for the General XG CF6 engines, as well as the full cockpit sounds as well. Also includes a free scenery is included with this one, with custom Beluga ST interactive functions, which is for the Harwood Airport, which is one of the airports that is often seen for the Beluga, picking up a variety of Airbus parts. So it includes a custom interaction, so you can actually bring your guppy aircraft up to it, and you'll actually get into the loader, and you'll actually receive the cargo on board. So that's a nice little bit of cross pollination there with their scenery design team. But it's also great that they include it for free, which I thought was kind of cool as well. And this one's available for $63 or your regional equivalent, available now from AnyBuilds. Continuing on with releases for X-Plane 11, and this week from developer Airfield Canada. So this week the release of their rendition of Halifax Stanfield International Airport, which is apparently one of the busiest airports in Canada. So it includes 150 over 150 highly detailed custom buildings and objects, both inside and outside the airport perimeter, or buildings and objects done in full high definition texturing with full PBR support as well. Includes custom ground texturing, custom ground markings, including custom weathered overlays as well. Includes custom terrain and custom terrain mesh for the airport and surrounding airport, including the steep hills at the end of each of the runways as well, making for a challenging approach for everybody. Includes custom night lighting for the airport and surrounding areas as well, to make sure you've got custom taxiway lights and approach lights as needed. Custom ground vehicles, animations, and full support for all 5 seasons, including spring, summer, autumn, winter, and deep winter, including 3D snow piles on the ground and windows included as well. And you can pick this one up for $25 or your original equivalent, available from your favorite flight sim retailer. Continuing on with an airport release for X-Plane 11, I saw this week from developer Thai Models of the release of their rendition of Incheon International Airport, which of course is the primary international airport servicing South Korea. Now, not a lot of information about this one, but I've got to call this developer out because I don't know what's going on with the publicity screenshots they've released for this, but they are awful. So I honestly, I can't even sort of interpret these images because these images are so color washed out. It is not funny. I don't know whether this is like a mobile phone capture of their screen, or whether they're I mean, somebody dropped it into Photoshop and hit the blue slider to full or something. I don't know, but the textures are incredibly washed out. The product images they've shipped are incredibly washed out. Now, it claims it's got 4K textures and high quality PBR for all objects and whatever, but I can't offer you anything else because, as I said, they've released 4 images and they are absolutely terrible. So buyer beware is probably the best I can tell you on this one. There's no reviews that I've seen from any other people who purchased it in the meantime for this one. Coming in at 28 US dollars, or original equivalent, available now from explain.org. And rounding out X-Plane 11 releases this week from developer Runway 26 Simulations of their rendition, their rendition of Marathon Airport in Florida released this week. Again, not a lot of information about this one. So this is a sort of a smaller bizjet sort of charter airline focused airport and GA aircraft airport for this one for servicing Florida. Not a lot of information about it. Decent looking 3D models for airport buildings. Looks like it's PBR textures throughout. Well, actually, no, maybe not throughout, but it looks like there are definitely some PBR textures I've seen. Some static aircraft scattered around. The modeling of the airport buildings does look pretty good, so I'll give them that. But yeah, other than that, not a lot of information going on there otherwise. So again, buyer beware on that one. Coming in for 18 US dollars, or original equivalent, available now from SimMarket. Moving into aviation of a different portrayal, saw this week the release out of early access into full release of Airport CEO. Now, when this came up in my research for this week's episode, I was looking at it going, I swear I reported on this a long time ago. Apparently I did. I reported on this back in 2017 when this released into early access. So this is a simulation of a different kind. So this is sort of like your Sim City of an airport kind of simulation, this one, where you sort of start off an airport as a very sort of small sort of, regional sort of GA sort of airport, and you grow your airport into a huge hub of international travel. So it's a really interesting style. To be honest, I'd almost forgotten about it. Like, as I said, this thing's been developed now for 4 years. Like, it's been in development for a long time, so it's really impressive to see how far it's come, actually. So I looked at some content from recent playthroughs of it, and it's looking pretty damn impressive. So if you're into this kind of sort of management simulator, this could be a really interest to you. It could be a real interest to you because, really the sky is the limit for you. It really is. Now, the fully functional release comes out, allows you to simulate running an airport and actually doing everything from ground services for turning around aircraft, to ticket countering, to managing passengers, managing bathrooms, you name it, anything to do with running an airport, you can simulate it here as well with a fully interactive AI employees, facilities, buildings, and being a CEO with lots and lots of data coming through. Also includes, at launch, they also include a free DLC, which is the Supersonic Pack, which adds in the Aerospatiale BAC Concorde and the Tupolev Tu-144 supersonic jets get added in for free piece of DLC, and a separate soundtrack DLC available as well. And if you wanted to add this one to your CEO collection, you can pick this one up for 25 US dollars, or your regional equivalent, available now from Steam. In the other type of airport CEO simulator that was released this week, but complete chalk and cheese, was Airport Simulator 3 Day and Night from UIGs. So I'm going to call this one and say this developer is one of the dodgiest developers I have ever come across. None of their stuff has been quality over the years, and this looks like the same stuff that's been rolled out and looks terrible. And from reading the first reviews from this one, I have not seen a single positive review about this. Everything it looks atrocious. Like, it looks like really basic Unity or Unreal Engine stuff. Sorry, not Unity, Unreal Engine, like really terrible like stuff, and the reviews are basically saying it's trash. So very much buyer beware on this one, because it's $20 with the 20%. That's after the 20% launch discount. So yeah. Ow. Good luck if you get it. All right, moving on to the next one, which the next one looks really sticking with aviation, but moving to something really weird and kind of fun and kind of cool. So this is a VR title called Warplanes World War I Fighters. Now, I'm going to put it by saying that this is really interesting because this is a full VR. So this is VR only. Includes full support for track motion controllers. This does not support HOTAS controllers. So this is completely like you need to use your Valve Index or Oculus touch controllers, or HP Reverb controllers, and you actually manipulate the controls in your virtual reality cockpit. So on that way, this is really kind of cool. But do not expect a full-fledged flight sim out of this. This is an arcade game, a slightly more advanced arcade game is what this is. Let's be honest here, and with a full option for a full arcade mode. But it does have a lot of interesting quirks that come with doing things out of World War One. For example, if your gun jams, you actually have to beat it, whack it, give it a good whack to actually sort of unjam the gun. So there's a lot of interesting physics stuff going on here. I mean, it tries to claim itself that it's a real flight sim. It's not. It's not. It's an arcade game. But still, there's an underlying sense here that it could be more than that moving into the future. So I think this could be one to watch. And given that this one's $15 US, might be good for a bit of I mean, it's not going to break the bank for you to have a bit of fun if you are a VR user. Unfortunately, I am not. So I'm unfortunately going to miss out on this title. But if anybody does get it, let me know how you get on. It's kind of cool. And this was, as I said, available now for $15 available now on Steam. And rounding out the simulation release news for this week from developer Dovetail Games. So this week, the release of the Southeastern British Rail Class 465 EMU for Train Sim World 2. So this is a highly detailed rendition of the British Rail Class 465/9 EMU in the Southeastern Blue Stripe livery for a train that was developed throughout the sort of, originally prototyped during the 1980s, but would actually enter service in the early 1990s. This particular rendition, though, would be part of the refurb of that original British Rail Class, that is in the 1990s, from the early 2000s, when a number of these units were pulled out for extensive refurb, including fully refurbishing all of the interiors and upgrading the engines as well, and being reclassified as the /9 series. So this includes a highly detailed, feature-rich driving cab with accurate true-to-life performance. Doesn't give me anything more information than that, so as not being a train sim speciality, I hope that's accurate for you guys. Includes accessible training modules, as well as 4 detailed scenarios for the Southeastern high-speed route as well as a fully operable in timetable mode for the Southeastern high-speed route as well as being fully compatible with the scenario planner and livery designer as well. And you can add this one to your train collection for $20 or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. And with that, folks, that rounds out the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch me between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter and on Twitch. Just search NovaWing24. Alright, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.